Zoom webinar today, and so that means that your microphone and your video have both been disabled. If you have any questions for us, please use the Q&A feature, which is located at the bottom of your screen. If you're having trouble hearing us this afternoon, please try turning up the volume on your computer speakers or on the phone that you're calling in from. And we're going to wait just a few minutes. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Jamie Hansard, and I serve as the Vice President of Enrollment Management for Texas Tech University, and I will be facilitating this afternoon session. As a student from West Texas, we want you to know that Texas Tech values and appreciates you. Students from West Texas epitomize the hardworking and optimistic persona that Texas Tech is known for. Our desire for this event for you today is that you know that Texas Tech is a place where you can accomplish whatever you aspire to achieve. We want to reintroduce you to Texas Tech and showcase why we can provide you with the unique learning experience unmatched by any other university. As we bring this presentation to you today, please know that we too are in our homes. Some of us are working at our kitchen tables. Some of us are working in makeshift offices, just like many of you. While we do not anticipate any technical issues, if they do occur, we will do our very best to resolve them as quickly as possible. We're happy to be here with you today to share why Texas Tech is such a special place. I'm honored to introduce to you Texas Tech's 17th president, Dr. Lawrence Skubinak. He has served as president since 2016. Since then, Dr. Skubinak has emphasized student success and scholarship support through transformative educational experiences. Prior to his appointment as president, he served as the university provost, which is the chief academic officer for a university. Prior to that, he served as the dean for the College of Arts and Sciences and chair of the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. Dr. Skubinak earned his doctorate in mathematics from Indiana University, his master's degree from Texas A&M, and a Bachelor of Science degree from Phillips University. With that, I'm going to hand it off to President Skubinak.
Thank you, Jamie. So thank all of you for joining us today. I want to thank my colleagues for helping to organize this town hall meeting. It was several years ago that I asked the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management to organize a tour of high schools in the West Texas area. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that was because at Texas Tech, there was a trend that fewer and fewer of our freshmen came from West Texas. And in fact, for this last fall's freshman class, only 12% of our freshmen came from within 100 miles of Lubbock. 20% came from within 200 miles. Now, in some ways, that speaks to the statewide reputation of Texas Tech and that in our national and global reputation. But at the same time, there's something very special about the culture of West Texas. And it speaks to some of the characteristics that Jamie just mentioned. And I'd like to make a few comments about that, but I think one way this was made very vivid was over the weekend when we had our commencement ceremony. It wasn't something that we ever envisioned doing, but it turned out, I think, to be a very meaningful ceremony for the students and their parents. I invited parents and their families and the students to come by my home, and we took pictures. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. You get a real sense of the family at Texas Tech when we interact at that level. And we received a lot of national attention because of some of the speakers we had. One of them was Patrick Mahomes. And he made a comment that he said, go out and show the world what people from Lubbock, Texas can do. But I really think what he meant was what people from West Texas, what people from Texas Tech can do. Because there is something really unique and wonderful about the Red Raider family and the sort of characteristics and culture of the university. Let me speak to that in a way that about 2 months ago, there was a national survey organized by the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities. They conducted a survey last fall of more than 330 recruiters. And they asked them, what schools do you really value in terms of producing graduates? And Texas Tech ranked 9th in the nation. It was first in the state of Texas, 9th in the nation. Who else was in the top 10? Just to mention some of those schools were MIT, Ohio State, Penn State, UCLA, Harvard. There were 2 other schools from Texas in the top 25, A&M and UT, which are great institutions, but they were ranked below Texas Tech. Also in the top 25, you saw Duke, Columbia, Brown, Michigan, University of California, Berkeley. There was Texas Tech among the top institutions in the United States when recruiters were asked about the quality of our graduates. And what did those recruiters say? They said that Texas Tech does an excellent job preparing students for the workforce. They said they seek out our graduates due to the school's overall reputation, but also the preparedness, the work ethic of our graduates, their intelligence, their teamwork skills, their professionalism. They characterized our students as intelligent, hardworking, and self-confident. And I think that says a lot about our university. But I also think it reflects a certain sense of values and culture here. And those values and culture really come from our community and from West Texas. And even if our students don't primarily come from this area, because when they come to our campus, they become so ingrained in this campus community and the broader community, they assume some of those values, and that puts them in a very good position when they graduate. So I want you to know that we really value students from West Texas. You make a difference, I think, in the lives of other students through certain values that you bring from your community. I think I also have to recognize and acknowledge something that's probably in the back of some of your minds. I may live in Lubbock. Why would I want to stay in Lubbock? What's going to be new for me on that campus? I can tell you that once you become part of this campus, you'll discover it's a world unto itself. You'll have almost 40,000 students. They come from all over the world, more than 100 countries around the world, all 50 states. And you'll be exposed to so many different cultures and ways of thinking. You'll be so occupied in all the activities of this campus that you won't even really know you're in your hometown. But the advantage is that you don't have to go that far to get your laundry done or get a free meal. So you should know that you can have a world-class educational experience right here. And you probably do look at things like rankings and such, and where Texas Tech really shines are those rankings that look at return on investment. How much do you pay for this education? How much do you earn once you graduate? For instance, in the most recent ranking of Forbes magazine, Best Value Colleges, Texas Tech ranked 116th in the nation. Now keep in mind, there's more than 3,000 baccalaureate institutions in the United States. They only rank 300, so that puts Tech in very elite company. But that's sort of the theme and culture of this university. I imagine that Jamie and Shannon and others will share with you some of the many support programs that are provided to you. At Texas Tech, more than 70% of the students get some form of financial assistance. It amounts to about $350 million a year. Since 2016, when I became president, we're now spending more than $24 million a year more for financial aid. We're going to start a new program this year called that will provide what's called the Matador Scholarship. It's a scholarship based on need, but also we place a high priority on the quality of our students, and we measure that in very many different ways. In the last few years, we've had a fourfold increase in national merit finalists. This past year, we had more than 3,500 freshmen who qualified for the Presidential Scholarship. Those are significant scholarships that go up to as much as $38,000. But you should know that one of our highest priorities is to make this an experience that is affordable and offers you this exceptional value. And so let me close with just some general comments about, is a college education worth it? We know that there's issues of cost that weigh on your mind, but there's so much evidence that says a college education pays for itself many times over. Now, pre-pandemic, for the most recent data I could find, and I know situations will change, it said that 65% of all the jobs in the United States required some post-secondary education. And they anticipate that in the coming years, more than 90% of the new jobs that are created will require some form of college education. And so in this day and age, where technology plays such an important role, artificial intelligence, the value of a college education is worth more than ever. One might say with the increasing cost of education, is it still worth it? And so I had to look up something on that. And in 1980, those with a college degree earned 20% more than their peers without a degree. And today, that figure has grown to 80%. So the differential in the value of the college has even become more pronounced. So we would love to see you at Texas Tech, but I would say make sure you explore all the possibilities that are there before you. And we so much appreciate you taking time to visit with us today. And we look forward to having you on our campus. It's beautiful right now, but this is not the way we want it. We want to see this place overrun by students. And maybe I should say a few things about any anxiety you may have about the fall. Not a day goes by that we don't spend time planning for the reopening. We know this campus will be different than when students left us earlier this spring. We're in the process of making the schedule for next fall, deciding how many courses will be face-to-face, how many will be of a hybrid format, how many will be online. We're planning to manage the density of student population on this campus, how we ensure that we're providing the safest possible environment for you. There will be many options for students, how we manage the dorms, the dining facilities, the traffic on campus. You'll be hearing a lot more about those plans in the coming weeks, but you should know that nothing is more important to us than your safety, the safety of our students, our staff, and our faculty. And we are totally preoccupied with that. But we do feel that we'll have made very thorough and well thought out plans to bring students back on campus and to do it in a safe way. And with that, Jamie, I'll give up the floor to you.
Thank you, President Skunek, for joining us today. So we've also assembled a panel to share with you how enrollment management can assist you in becoming a Red Raider. The Division of Enrollment Management is made up of the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, the Registrar's Office, and Financial Aid and Scholarships. And these offices work together to ensure that you have a smooth transition to Texas Tech University. We've also included the Office of Parent and Family Relations so that they can discuss the college transition for any of our parents or family members that are joining us today. So I'm going to ask our Executive Director for Undergraduate Admissions, Jason Hale, to go first and talk about the role that undergraduate admissions plays in your journey to Texas Tech.
Great, thank you, Jamie. And thank you all for joining us this afternoon. As the president mentioned, we are so delighted to offer this opportunity for you. And as Jamie mentioned, my name is Jason Hale, and I have the pleasure of serving as our interim executive director for undergraduate admissions. And you may be wondering, what does undergraduate admissions mean, and what does the office do? And simply put, we are the office that is responsible for assisting students through the admissions process at Texas Tech. And there's several ways that we go about doing this, whether it's through recruitment events at your schools, visiting with your high school counselors, meeting with you individually, mailing you, emailing you, calling you, all of those things that we do. But most importantly, you should know that the Office of Undergraduate Admissions really seeks to be your contact, your connection to Texas Tech University and all the wonderful opportunities that are available to you as a Red Raider. You may not realize this, but each one of you have been assigned an admissions counselor, and that's your dedicated contact, your point of contact. So if you received any emails or any communication from Texas Tech, it's likely that most of those have come from your admissions counselor. So we hope that you're familiar with this person, as they are really truly your connection to the university. But if you don't know who your admissions counselor is, that's okay. We'll help you find who your admissions counselor is. You can go to our website. It's admissions.ttu.edu. There's a link there for Find My Admissions Counselor. And I encourage you, if you have not met with your admissions counselor, to do so. When you visit that website, you'll find a lot of different information about how to apply to Texas Tech and what our programs are. But most importantly, we want you to know that we are the office that truly wants to help you through your enrollment process at Texas Tech. And for those that are already admitted to Texas Tech, we want to help you with your next steps as you go through this process. But those that are still on their journey of searching out a college and researching colleges and universities, know that our office is here to support you through that. Really and truly, there's a lot at the institution for you to get involved with. And the president mentioned, all of our clubs, organizations, but Office of Undergraduate Admissions seeks to be a generalist for you, to tell you about all the 150 different academic programs we have available for you, all the student support services from our learning centers, our research centers across campus, the different ways that you can get involved with faculty and staff through research. There's so many opportunities, and we want to be the office that supplies you with that information. We also want to tell you about the fun stuff at Tech, things like going to Big 12 sporting events with just a swipe of your ID card. There's so many great things for you as a Red Raider. So seek out that information from the Office of Undergraduate Admissions and let us help you find your journey to Texas Tech. I want to take a minute to talk to our seniors. There are several of you that are on the call this afternoon, and there are several of you that still need to complete your enrollment steps at Texas Tech. So if you have not signed up for orientation yet, it's not too late. Orientation will start this week, but we certainly, there's still time for you to register for orientation or sign up for your housing. So if you haven't taken those next steps, reach out to your admissions counselor. If you need help, we're here to support you through that. We want to make sure that you have all the resources that you need to make this transition this fall to campus. And for those of you that are juniors, just know that the application to apply to Texas Tech will be open in just a few weeks. It'll open on July 1st. And we really want to encourage you to get a head start on your application to Texas Tech University. Because remember, when you apply early to Texas Tech, we have more opportunities to help you through, things like getting your admissions decision, making sure that you have all of your documents in place so that you meet your scholarship deadlines and you meet your housing deadlines. We really want to make sure that this summer, as you're a junior, that you attend one of our application workshops where we're going to talk about the application. We're going to walk you through the steps to apply to Texas Tech and make sure that you're well on your way to becoming a Red Raider. So for those of you that are juniors and are joining us this afternoon, know that we want to help you and support you as you begin your senior year. We know your senior year will look different, but we certainly want to be that resource for you. And for all the other students that are joining us this afternoon, we know that COVID-19 has certainly changed your college search process. And colleges are shut down across the country, but we don't want you to panic. The Office of Undergraduate Admissions over the last few weeks has hosted over 100 virtual events, things like our admissions presentation, things like our admitted next steps. We've co-hosted presentations with financial aid to make sure that you're in the best position to receive the most amount of aid at Texas Tech. We've hosted events for families, and we're going to continue to do that throughout the summer. So as you begin, or you may be searching, what are the opportunities for you at Texas Tech? And unfortunately, you can't come to campus right now, or it's not open. We want to encourage you to visit our virtual website. It's admissions.ttu.edu/virtual. There you'll find all of our events, but you'll also find our video library, things like our academic colleges talking about their programs, specifically how you can fit into their college and what you'll get out of a degree from their academic programs. Things like our student support services, whether that's our learning centers, our technique center for students with students disability services. There's all kinds of resources available for you on the virtual site. And so we want you to know that, even though we're in a time of social distancing, we're not going to stop providing you the information you need. It's just going to be in a different format. So again, check us out on our virtual website. Again, it's admissions.ttu.edu/virtual. And I'll leave you with this. At Texas Tech University, we have a saying, and it's our tagline, and it says, "From here, it's possible." And truly, that means so much to me, because I think it truly is. The possibilities are endless at Texas Tech. But you may be wondering, what does "from here, it's possible" mean for me, student sitting here today listening to this webinar? It might mean that you're a first-generation college student, and nobody in your family's ever gone to college, and you're going to be the first. Or maybe you come from a small rural town where college is not always thought of. You may be wondering, is this going to be right for me? But I want you to know that from here, it's possible. We have so many resources available to help students that are transitioning to college, and that we want you to know it's possible. You may also be wondering about, how can I afford to go to a large national research institution? Luckily, we have an expert today that's going to tell you about that. But I want you to know that there's so many opportunities for financial aid and assistance, scholarship programs, and you really have to search those out. But we're going to be that resource. Let admissions help you, because from here, it's possible. And I also want to tell you that, as I mentioned, we're all working from home, and we're all, in different locations, but we're not going to stop providing you the information you need, because from our homes or wherever we are, from here, it truly is possible. And so, I just encourage you to seek out the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Let us be a resource for you. And if there's anything that we can do to assist you through this process, just let us know. All right, Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. We also have Dr. Shannon Venezia, who serves as the Executive Director for Financial Aid and Scholarships, joining us today. So she's going to be able to continue the conversation about affordability. So Shannon, would you discuss how your office can provide financial support to our students?
Thank you, Jamie. The Office of Student Financial Aid and Scholarships is here to help you with access and affordability. And it is our primary job to help you figure out how you're going to pay for and how you're going to be able to afford to come to Texas Tech University. Generally, the first step in this process is to apply to Texas Tech University, and the admissions application serves as also your scholarship application. So there are no additional scholarship applications to be considered for scholarships here at Texas Tech University.
Hey, Shannon, would you speak in a little bit closer to the microphone? It's a little distorted.
Yes, is that better?
A little bit. I tell you what, why don't we transition to Elizabeth, and then we'll come back. Okay, thanks. So we also have Elizabeth, Dr. Elizabeth Massengale joining us today, and she serves as the Managing Director of Parent Family Relations Office. So Elizabeth, would you discuss how your office works with parents and families of our Texas Tech students?
Thank you, Jamie. First of all, let me say how exciting it is to be able to have this opportunity to talk with fellow West Texans. I am from Midland, Texas, so just a couple hours south of Lubbock, and attended Texas Tech and had a fantastic experience, and still get to continue that journey here as a staff member. But there's so much the university can offer for students and for their families. It's a great place, and I hope that many of you will find the value in it as well. I am the director for the Department of Parent and Family Relations here at Texas Tech. And we really value family involvement. We want families to be involved. So students know that just because you're now a college student doesn't mean that mom and dad go away, or aunts and uncles or grandparents or whoever that support system is. We want them involved, but it will look different than it does today. And we want it to look different because this is a time for you to discover who you are and experience new things and advocate for yourself and really become more independent. So we're going to help everybody make those transitions. And one of those options and support programs to do that is the Department of Parent and Family Relations. We're here to serve families of prospective students, current students, and even those families whose students maybe have graduated. We focus on providing timely and accurate information to help families stay connected to their students as well as the university. We will provide them information during summer orientation. So for those of you who are joining us for orientation this summer, we have programming for your families as well. We will provide them with information. We have a parent and family guide that has information on all the programs and services that are available for students. We have a monthly newsletter that goes out to families, providing them information on options and activities that are happening on campus, as well as some good reminders, because we know that students do get overwhelmed with the amount of information sometimes. And this is where families can be involved and help remind their students, go meet with your academic advisor, or did you see this event is happening on Friday? You should go check it out. We also want your families to come back and visit. So families, once you drop your student off in August, know that you are not done. We want you to come back and see your student. That might be during some of our family days or even sibling Saturday. So some events to look forward to. So we want to encourage you to go ahead and sign up for our newsletter. It's free. You can follow us on social media and go ahead and begin to get connected. You're welcome to call or email us at any time. I know all the departments that are represented today, we're still open, even though we're working from home. But just let us know what kind of questions you have. One of the things that I think is really outstanding at the university is how many programs and services that we have that are available to support your student. We want you to make Texas Tech your home. So whether you're from Lubbock or Midland, Odessa or Amarillo or a number of other places, Texas Tech University will now be your home. And it's important for students to make that transition and get connected on campus. That's with new friends and activities, support services. Texas Tech is now where you live, so you need to get connected. We want students to join organizations. We have over 550 student organizations on campus. We encourage students to serve in our Student Government Association and represent the student voice, or even work on campus or participate in creative endeavors and academic research. So families, challenge your student to become involved, and students, challenge yourself to identify ways you can be involved on campus. This will help everybody's transition to a new environment to get connected. We also know that students will need some assistance along the way, and we want to help them with that. So sometimes they need some support resources to help them personally, emotionally, physically, and academically. We have a wonderful student wellness center that has student health services, student counseling center, our pharmacy, and more. That's here to help support students' emotional and physical health. Tutoring options are available, so your student will want to connect with those tutoring options. Sometimes maybe they are not as strong in math as they are in reading. Well, there's a math department tutoring option, or tutors in the residence halls, or through our learning center. So students who are seeking tutoring opportunities, they're out there and available for you in a number of different platforms. Or maybe students aren't sure what career path they want to go down. Our Career Center can assist students with that. They also assist, obviously, with job searches upon students' graduation, but also identify different career paths and academic majors, even internships and summer jobs. So that's a great resource for families. We also know that students are going to test boundaries, and sometimes those activities may be less than ideal or not necessarily in line with family values. But know that we're going to educate students on risk reduction, how to help others through bystander intervention, and there is a code of student conduct. So students will still hold you accountable because you're now a Red Raider and you represent thousands of other Red Raiders. So families, talk with your student about those expectations and remind them of your values and beliefs. And students, this is a time for you to really remember what those family values and beliefs are. So what can you do now? As students, as you begin to make that transition, and families, as you begin to make that transition, if you're graduating now or maybe in a few years, some things that you can start doing now to be prepared for that college transition. Check your email regularly. Once you have a Texas Tech email, check that regularly too. A lot of communication comes to those emails, and that'll be a great starting point. Follow the university on social media sites. There's some fantastic ways to get involved virtually. Might be an athletic event or a 5K run, webinars just like this one. Take a virtual tour of campus. There's some student activities, hashtags, all sorts of things that you can go ahead and get involved and connected with now. And then students and families, once you're on campus, get involved in those activities, get connected with programs and services, identify the resources that you need, maybe tutoring or counseling center, maybe an on-campus job, and reach out to them early. What I want you to walk away from knowing is that the university values family involvement. Know that what it looks like now will look different once you're on campus as a Red Raider. In families, your students still need you, they just need you in a different way. You know, as a family member, your role will be to help your student learn about those programs and services, encouraging them to reach out for support and getting connected. Your student will be the one to make those calls or send that email or go to the appointment. So as you begin to think about that transition, help prepare them for those experiences now. Have your student make their own appointments. Have them go to one of those appointments on their own. But before they go, prepare them with questions and follow up with them after they return. Encourage them to research various resources and activities, and then ask them to take the lead and follow up. The more you can encourage your student to be independent, and the more successful your student will be in college. Again, don't worry, they will still need you, and the university absolutely wants you involved. And students, know that your families may challenge you to be more independent, and that's a good thing. You'll be set up for success once you join us here at Texas Tech. But again, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here. Jamie?
Thank you, Elizabeth. So Shannon, we'll go back to you and hear more about financial aid and scholarships.
All right, so going back to financial aid, I'm going to restart what I was talking about originally, so a little bit will be a duplicate because, of course, I had to be the technology challenge on this panel, so thank you for bearing with me. I was hopeful it wasn't going to be dog barks. So to start the process for financial aid at Texas Tech University, it starts with your admissions application. Your admissions application is your scholarship application to be considered for all institutional scholarships as an incoming student. After your first year, you'll actually complete an actual scholarship application for any continuing years that opens in October and closes on February 1st of each year. But for the incoming students, only your admissions application will be needed. To be considered for all other types of financial aid, you will need to complete either the free application for federal student aid, which is your FAFSA, and that application opens on October 1st of each year, or if you are a Texas resident who is an eligible citizen of Texas, you'll complete the Texas application for state financial aid. And these applications will determine all of your need-based aid for Texas Tech University. For eligible citizens and not eligible non-citizens, the FAFSA will determine your eligibility for federal aid, such as the Pell Grant, federal work study, federal student loans, the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant, and it will also serve as your application for institutional aid as well as state aid programs. For students who complete the TASFA application, this will be your application to determine your eligibility for state aid as well as your institutional need-based aid. So just as the president had stated, over 70% of our students receive some form of financial aid from Texas Tech University. And these programs include the Red Raider Guarantee, which we are very excited to announce. We had just increased our threshold for student eligibility from an adjusted gross income of $40,000 to an adjusted gross income of $65,000. And with this program, you would be eligible to have all of your tuition and fees covered with need-based aid as long as you meet the criteria of the Red Raider Guarantee Program of the adjusted gross income of $65,000 or less, have demonstrated financial need as determined by your FAFSA or TASPA, and meet the priority deadline of January 15th. January 15th is a very important date that most institutions in the state of Texas also follow, because that's the state filing priority date. So the FAFSA opens on October 1st, and we need you to have all of that completed and the FAFSA done by January 15th for priority funding consideration. So for our incoming students in fall of 20, hopefully you have already completed your FAFSA, but it is not too late if you haven't done it. You can continue to apply for the FAFSA and have that sent to Texas Tech University to determine your need-based aid eligibility. For students coming in fall 21 and later, it's very important that you meet that January 15th deadline for Texas Tech University for priority funding consideration. We are also excited, and I'm echoing the president on this one as well, about our scholarship structures. So on our scholarships website, so scholarships.ttu.edu, you can find additional information about the Presidential Merit Program and the qualifiers for that program. So we base our scholarships on a very transparent model based on your high school rank and your SAT or ACT scores. And those charts are out there for you to review based on your incoming classes in fall of 20 and fall of 2021. So I encourage you to go out there and look at those scholarship structures. So for this upcoming year, for the fall 20 year, we will continue to accept test scores until the day before classes start. So if you have not gotten your test scores into Texas Tech University, please go ahead and have those sent to us. For students coming in fall of 2021, we have pushed out our scholarship deadline from April 15th to June 1st to give you a maximized amount of time in order to get those test scores in. We are cognizant about some of the testing challenges and things like that, which is why we have pushed out the deadline to allow for additional tests for consideration. I do want to let you know about how bills work at Texas Tech University. So for your first bill, it will come out in mid-July, and the due date for your bill is the week before classes start. In this case, for this upcoming year, it is August 17th. So everything needs to be done and completed for your financial aid, and all of your financial aid paperwork needs to be completed and into us. So about 1/3 of all financial aid, all people who file for the FAFSA are selected for a process called verification by the Department of Education. Texas Tech does not just randomly select people because we want additional documentation. The Department of Education will select students for this process, and we will reach out to you by email to ask you for those additional documents. So if you take anything away from this financial aid presentation, is please check your email. It is so important to check your Texas Tech email, because this is where we're going to communicate with you as students. We will always communicate with you in this way. If you send us questions from your personal email, we will send the response back to your Texas Tech email, because that's our official communication from the Student Financial Aid and Scholarships Office to you. So please make sure that you are checking your Texas Tech University email, because if we need something from you, that's where we're going to send it to you. We also are cognizant that these are very changing times for families, and many families have been impacted by the current situation, or maybe impacted by other situations, such as an illness in the family, or death of a parent, or loss of jobs, either by the student or the family. And I encourage you to reach out to our office to talk about these circumstances and talk to us about the special circumstances process, so that we can review your current financial situation to determine if we can make any updates to your FAFSA to maximize your need-based aid eligibility. Oftentimes, families don't realize that we're here to support you and help you through these difficult times, and there are other processes that we can use to assist you with this. So if you or your parents have been impacted by job loss due to COVID-19, or you've had extenuating medical expenses, or anything like that, please reach out to our office. And you can email us at finaid, FINAID, .advisor@ttu.edu. And we can walk you through that process to determine if there's additional need-based aid that we can offer to you. So please know that we are here for you, and we want to help you, and we are here to advise you through the FAFSA process, the TASFA process. We're here to help you understand your grants, to understand your scholarships, to understand scholarship eligibility, and walk you through the student loan process if you choose to borrow funds to finance your education here at Texas Tech University. And please remember to check your Texas Tech University email, because we will communicate with you officially through that email address.
Thank you, Shannon. And I want to thank all of our panelists for providing all of this information today. For everyone that attended, you will receive a follow-up email, and it will have contact information and as well as information about your specific admissions counselor to help you navigate the enrollment process to become a Red Raider. We're going to stay on for a few more minutes so that if you have any questions, please use the Q&A that we talked about before. And so we'll be on to answer any of those questions. Again, thank you for joining us. We sincerely appreciate you spending time with us today. Have a wonderful evening.